The secrets inside.
G'day everyone. Remember that tragic day that we lost Trevor Davis? Yeah, he died from brain cancer, and I really miss him so much. But at least I still got Strider and the others. And I'm sure his nephew Alden will follow his footsteps in taking good care of his channel by the time he gets older. And as Marty from Madagascar said best,
"This isn't the end. This is a whole new beginning. This could be the best thing that's ever happened to us."
So let's get started with this video.
As a matter of fact,
it's time to look at the episodes one of the writers' worst mistakes that they ever done to our favorite cartoons. Whoever ruining the audience experience. However, at least the cartoon industries were still trying their best to find the different writers who make their own original ideas. Sometimes they made great episodes, and sometimes they made terrible episodes. So one of these episodes with horrible messages to kids, disgraceful moments, unfunny jokes, 0% build up, and made any characters as a complete idiots. So let's check out which I consider the 6 worst episodes from the good cartoons. And as always, if you do like these episodes, that's fine. It's just my silly personal opinion, and I'm glad you enjoyed these episodes that I'm not be able to. Anyway, on to the countdown. Starting with number 6. Arthur. Never, never, never. Ugh, this episode had some bad taste in my mouth. DW was getting worse unlike any other worst episodes that she ever done. But in this episode, she refused to donate all of her old toys to the charity. So throughout the episodes, after her grandma Flora has gave her her new toy, her mother Jane told her to donate all of her old toys as a charity after she outgrown and didn't play with it anymore. But unfortunately, DW refused to give up all of her old toys, and she decided to have her dumbest idea to hide her old toys somewhere in her room. So after Jane told her to donate all of her old toys by the end of a week, so what did DW said?
you never let me have what I want.
Oh, for God's sake. Look, I never said that to my own mother after we donate all of my old toys and throw away my broken toys to the rubbish dump as a child. Not to mention DW has ruined my intelligence as well after I rewatched this show on YouTube. Like, I copy what she did is wrong sometimes, and also repeat after her what she was saying. She was not the favorite character of mine I thought she was a decade ago. Anyway, this episode goes nowhere, and it's nothing but the cruelest episode in the history of PBS Kids. And it's a good thing that DW has finally accepted her mother Jane to donate all of her old toys as a charity, after Arthur fight back with the Tipple twins who ruining her old toys, before she goes back to cause even more trouble before the season finale. So remember kids, whenever you're outgrown with your old toys and get some new toys from your parents, just donate all of your old toys as a charity to the yard sale and always be polite to your parents. And for the number 5, the Fairy Odd Parents, Timmy's 2D House of Horror. Timmy's parents has gone too far in this episode, and not in a good way. So after Timmy has made a wish from Cosmo and Wanda to make the stuff from the movie as real, and ended up make the lava destroys Vicky's house with Vicky and her parents in it. But why couldn't it kill them after her house has been turned into dust? That's what she get for being a child abuse. Yes, I know, it was just a cartoon with cartoony slapsticks, but what's the difference? And by the way, why the Turners still have the doghouse in their backyard? It seems like Timmy's old pet dog has been kicked out by Vicky the day when they first met. And then it ran over by a car after it was ran away from Vicky. Damn, I killed the dog! And I hated that they eat Timmy's breakfast after Mrs. Turner gave him some breakfast, leaving him to starve. And after Timmy grants his wish from Cosmo and Wanda to rebuild Vicky's house, and after he told the folks about Vicky's house, Mr. Turner destroyed it with the sledgehammer because he really made my blood boiled. And after Timmy, Cosmo, and Wanda have their new plan to get rid of Vicky and her parents. And then we got this from Mr. Turner, which is by far the worst part of this episode.
What did you say to our new friends?
I said spaghetti and meatballs.
Do you want to be stuck here alone with the boy again?
Do you all actually know that I absolutely hate Mr. and Mrs. Turner with a flaming passion? Well, they were a close second, because Peter and Lois Griffin is the absolute worst cartoon parents of all time. Mr. and Mrs. Turner never believed Timmy or what Vicky did to him for years. But at least they did in the end of the special Channel Chases. But as we know, it was too late. Because finally accepting the only child after all this traumas did not make them a better parents.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Turner. Don't worry. The only thing Timmy's gonna watch while I'm here is his mouth. Ah! No! Don't leave me with her! She's evil!
Evil?
That's silly! Would an evil person bring gifts?
You're a liar and a bully, and I'd rather rot in this dumpster than join any family of yours.
Jesse's right! Authority should derive from the consent of the governed, not from the threat of force.
And for the number 4,
I wanna be here.
Thomas and Friends. Thomas makes a mistake. Oh my god, first wonky whistle from the Cheryl Miller era, and now this from Big World Big Adventures era? Are you kidding me, Mattel? This is the absolute worst things that you guys ever done to Thomas before you ruining the Thomas brand by making all engines go. But at least last year and nowadays, you guys have did a decent job for this franchise. And I hope the new Thomas reboot will be 10 times better than All Engines Go. Where to start with this piece of scrap metal episode? Thomas didn't pay attention what Ashima would say, and even everyone else. So after Marion accidentally broke the water pipe, Thomas shouldn't have been called the plumber for a backup. And what's even worse, he scared the animals while he was doing his job. This is a whole new level of wonky whistle. And honestly, the Fat Controller should be in this episode to tell Thomas to stop causing damages around the soul door. It would have been fine for this episode. Look, I know he was lost all over the world while he was trying to find Thomas in Big World Big Adventures, the movie itself. And he never came back to the island of Sodor in the end, which is the stupidest ending if you ask me. But at least he did came back to the island of Sodor. So why did Mattel make Thomas as a cheeky and really useful engine to the dumbest and really useless engine? And there's nothing I'm gonna talk about this episode. So why can't Ashima, who became the main focus of this episode? Because she's very smarter than Thomas. But no, we still have Thomas as the idiotic protagonist than he already was before. And the number 3... SpongeBob SquarePants, Squidward Sick Days. No way! They're ripping off my favorite episode, Suds! Well done, Nickelodeon. You made the new record of the Squidward torture episode. And what the barnacle I'm going to talk about this episode? Well, my childhood icon have some mediocre at best experience for years after season 12 and after we lost Stephen Hillenburg. But as we know, they were still making more Squidward torture episodes.
Well, I wouldn't want to infect anyone, so you should probably go now.
Oh, you are in no condition to be alone. That's why I brought you some help. Take one of these and call me in the morning.
I'm done.
Oh my goodness! Lick my butthole!
No, Mr. Krabs, you need to call Sandy to take good care of Squidward. She was a much better choice than SpongeBob. And honestly, SpongeBob was getting even more irritating in this episode than he already was before. He shouldn't have been let that poor guy to have a break.
Are we done?
Don't be silly. We've just begun.
No, you're not helping SpongeBob. You're torturing him. So, the only plus is Squidward's transformation into handsome Squidward, which is a great throwback to the Two-Face of Squidward. The entire episode like this was getting so irritating and so annoying. And that's why I called Squidward Sick Days one of the worst episodes in modern day SpongeBob.
Ruin fix sick
And the number 2 worst episode from the good cartoon is My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. One Bad Apple. Looks like we have a bully episode. I wish I have. As much I love season 3 of My Little Pony, they made some great episodes, and sometimes they make other episodes as a downfall. This episode, on the other hand, it have no conflict and no build-up. So Applejack and Apple Bloom have their cousin Babs that came to visit them from Manhattan. Okay, that's good for them. But it turns out Babs was sometimes being a bully back at Manhattan. And after she joined Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon to ruining the Cutie Mark Crusaders Day, and what did Sweetie Belle said?
We have to tell Applejack. No, we're not snitches.
No, Apple Bloom. You, Scootaloo, and Sweetie Belle are not snitches. You have to tell your sister what Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon did to Babs, because telling adults on the bullies is most important thing. So, what did Applejack do throughout this entire episode?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
She just ignored her sister and her friends and she's been the dumbass in this episode! Not to mention she didn't see Babs pushing Apple Bloom from her bed that night! And that's not how sisters did in real life! Because she has to tell Babs not to bully her own sister! Otherwise, that might end up making her as a dim-witted asshole in this episode! So anyway, throughout the entire episode, we have some lame and unfunny joke like the veggie salad. And worst of all, we have some terrible messages for the kids by telling adults on the bullies. Which is idiotic if you ask me. And wait a minute, there was one episode that I know who is far worse than this one as my childhood. And before we get to number 1, here's some of the quick dishonorable mentions. Bluey Charade. I am absolutely sick of Muffin's tantrum. Her grandmother shouldn't have been told her to stop whining while she was doing the ballerina dances. And Bluey, Bingo, and Socks deserve better than this. But this one didn't make it to the list. The Simpsons. Lisa Goes Gaga. This is absolutely musical rubbish. As much I love Lady Gaga as a modern celebrity, and she doesn't feel like to be in this episode, so this one didn't make it to the list as well. Anyway, on to number 1. And Jesus, this is by far the most insult for the younger audience, so let's check it out. And the number 1 worst episode from the good cartoon is... Paw Patrol. Pop's favorite big brother. Oh no. No. This is like Caillou episode Big Brother Caillou all over again. My longtime childhood cartoon has got even worse after season 9 and season 11 and season 12 was made. At least season 13 got slightly better than these dreadful seasons, as Studio Tipsy would say. And oh, barnacles, when am I going to talk about this episode for him? So beginning of the episode, Farmer Al and Farmer Yumi is having a baby. Well, this opening was really not that bad as we thought it was, but that's just me. And later, after Ryder and the Paw Patrol return to the lookout and... Oh, Jesus! What am I even looking at? What did Farmer Al did to Marshall? Now, I know it was an accident. But this episode was the insult to the most hilarious and clumsiest fire pup of all time. And the worst part, they gave him a nappy gag! Seriously, this is far worse than a Bat's credit card from Batman and Robin! And throughout the episodes, Farmer Al shouldn't have been catch Marshall's ladder whenever he was in trouble and almost falling down from the waterfall. Because you know, every human characters from this cartoon have a major stupidity these days. And what else I gotta say about Farmer Al and Farmer Yumi's newborn? It seems that her character design was a reference to JJ from Cocomelon. And I beg you kids, please don't watch this episode. Because this and the next episode's Pup Save a Giant Baby, it needs to be banned by Nick Jr. And I could easily quote Pup Save a Big Brother, one of the absolute worst Paw Patrol episodes I ever seen in my entire life. Period. You know, like I said, sometimes so many writers from any cartoon industries created a badly made episodes to insult the younger audience's intelligence. But sometimes they hire the new writers to fix the problem for these terrible episodes and make some better episodes to keep the kids' intelligence better and healthier than before, with great and better messages and life lessons to the kids. Stronger character development, magnificent stories, and more, as long as they will focus on to follow the direction of our favorite cartoons. And do you think I missed a particularly bad episodes from the good cartoons? If you thought so, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.